just try our best to kind of go over the situation and also put out a warning in regards to buy orders. So yes, I know, on Twitch I put down CS2 and it said Carrot Slime 2. Shut up. This is not a Carrot Slime 2 video. This is Counter-Strike 2. And we're here to discuss the weird behaviour of the Kilowatt case. Right, so as of now, it's the 22nd of April. It has been about 2.5 months since we saw this case released properly. And if you can recall, this is the first non-operation case to be released in Counter-Strike 2. Very nice, very cool. Now, in the past, I've talked a lot about doing buy orders for Counter-Strike cases. Now, of course, back then, it was CSGO. So if I just quickly hop over to here, go to the playlists, and there we are, CS buy orders, click that. Quite some time back, I did release this video. Kilowatt case update. No, Kilowatt case appears. And then, of course, there was an update. But yeah, this is the main thing I want to showcase to you. Because you can see how I was basically prepared and engaged doing the buy orders. And if I go over to here, skip ahead to the actual case buy order. Where is it? Where's the actual? There it is. So, ×2. I thought I was reasonably fast enough. Like, I might have been at best 5 or 10 seconds late. And as you can see, I'm on the video account there. I did my buy orders. I requested 1,333 and then instantly hopped over to my second account and I did 1,700 buy orders. Now, the price I offered was £1, my currency. But £1 is stronger compared to the USD and, of course, the euro. So at the very least, if I just put down £1, I know within that range, I'd fill in the position of the $1 buy orders potentially and the €1 buy orders. So I had a very good position. I thought I was fast enough. Well, this is where we start discussing the weird situation of I haven't been successful. I have not been successful. So, quick overview of what we're going to discuss. Different strategies for prices we offer for non-operation cases from here and now, and proof and evidence of why, or myself not being successful. So as I said with that video that we just saw there real quickly, you saw me do my buy order. And, well, let's go over to the account that did the first buy order, which is right over here, my video account. Hello, video. How you doing? He hasn't got that much money anymore. But, in theory, I thought, so as long as I get those Kilowatt cases coming through, everything will be fine. 2.5 months later, where are my buy orders? I have 0. I haven't bought any. I have not succeeded. I literally must have been, at best, or at worst, 5 to 10 seconds after the case buy orders first appeared. Like, literally, as the Kilowatt case had just appeared, I know I wasn't the fastest, but I was always under the assumption I was fast enough. And I've been like that many times in the past. And by then, usually I would have picked up some cases by now. But not this, no. Not this Kilowatt case. And if you can remember, things are different in regards to the Kilowatt case and every non-operation CS2 case from here now. Because, of course, in the past, people could just idle in the likes of team death matches, spinning around and around and around. And once the match finished, they'd very likely get a case. Now, of course, if you can understand that, you'd understand people would have networks of bots just spinning around and around and around in various different matches and then constantly farming cases, the newer cases, and then throwing them onto the Steam market and, of course, getting that free money because, when the case first comes out, they sell for a fairly decent price and that's a lot of very easy, quick money to get, isn't it? Thing is, though, with the likes of the Kilowatt case as our example, during that first week, you can see for yourself that, well, initially, during the first few hours when it first appeared, like within the first hour, it was going up to about $80 to $100. Then it starts to go down real quickly because people are jumping in en masse, trying to get the case as fast as possible. If they're smart like me, they'd put themselves in a position where they only had to play like one game to get enough experience to then request a case. And, well, a lot of people did, and it did drop down pretty hard initially, and it went as low as about just under $10. Just under $10 after tons of people sold. But the thing is, though, over the course of the next few days, for the rest of that week, well, if everybody had got their cases by then, there was only so many to go around afterwards, and it actually rose up in price a fair bit. Went above $10, about 11, 12, if I can recall. But after that week, of course, cases refresh, and it does drop down fairly quickly. But it doesn't drop down dramatically. It was still around above $5 to $6, and then, as time went on, it gradually goes down, and this is expected. This is totally fine. But this is where I need to bring up a newer point. So back over to here, and this, so I can see the likes of liquidity and whatnot. We have seen some very strange behaviour recently, right? And to my surprise, the value of this case has dropped down pretty dramatically for no clear reason. And as I've already showcased to you, with the buy orders that I did, I haven't been successful in picking any of them up right now. If I go over to this account right here as well, yep. Now, this was a $1 buy order. I did this a little bit later. So one of the main points I was trying to get across to all of you is the era of the $1 buy order being totally fine, even if you weren't fast enough, that's over. That's long gone. 2.5 months later, this case right now is still selling for $1.50, which is very good if you had a successful buy order. I haven't at the moment, but I am under the assumption that there's just far too many people engaging in this where it's just not going to work as much anymore. Therefore, you probably want to play it smarter with better prices. So, as I mentioned during that first week, this was still selling above $10. And then the second week, about just above $6. What I'm sitting here saying is, instead of only doing a single $1 buy order, you probably want to do $1 as your long-term buy order, but then $2, maybe $3, and then all the way up to about $5. Maybe if you really want to push up to about $7, because you will succeed in buying them, but you'd actually succeed in buying them and flipping them for a decent profit. If you manage to pick a whole bunch of them during the first week for $7 each, I'm pretty sure you can still flip them for about a $2 profit. The problem is, you're going to need a lot of money to work with to be able to buy those cases at like $7 each, and you probably won't even be able to buy that much. You'd make profit, but yeah, is it really truly worth it? I mean, to get any profit would have been good, because I haven't picked anything up. 2.5 months later, I have like 5,000 buy orders put down at like £1, which is equal to about $1.25, and still nothing. And today, a big scare happened. So a lot of people were messaging me on Discord and whatnot. They're sitting here saying that they were seeing the Kilowatt case dropping down real hard, real bad. And I was actually, so I pinned this recently. I've had some discussions somewhat recently where I sat here and said, you can actually jump in, buy the case when it refreshes, wait until the weekend, sell then, and you'd still make some profit. I did this. I tested this out like a month ago. It was okay, but the profit wasn't really worth it. But I took this picture, this screenshot, 4 days ago on April 18. This was comfortably sitting here at $1.84. Why is it this has dramatically dropped down all the way to $1.40 at one point today? And no, it's not Tuesday/Wednesday, it's Monday. This has just dropped down really, really hard. This has just dropped all the way down to, as I said, about $1.35 to $1.40 at its lowest. Now, I've been hearing from a lot of people that apparently the bot networks have actually gotten smarter, and apparently they're filling up matches where it's just bots versus bots. They're getting all the experience. They are actually getting to a point now where they can farm and actually get the experience to then be able to request for cases and whatnot, get their drops every week. And this is quite alarming. And now I stand here in this position. I look at this in my currency, pound sterling, £1.22. I have £1 buy orders. I have 3 £1 buy orders. And as I said, having not been able to buy any at this moment, I now worry for if we actually have the cases drop, of course, tomorrow, or at least 24 hours plus later, is it going to get any worse than what it currently is, or did earlier today? And am I going to have to remove my buy order? And that would mean I've been essentially unsuccessful. Now, I did succeed with my, $2 buy order? Was it $2 or $3? I did a $3 buy order later, and I did end up buying a few here and there. Yes, I did a $3 buy order. I bought like 100 at best. It wasn't insane profit. It was nice profit, but it wasn't much. And that's the only cases I've bought so far. So just take note of this. In the future, when you see a brand new non-operation case drop, don't just do everything at $1 or around $1. You very likely want to kind of tier it out, so do a strong buy order, a not so strong buy order, and gradually, if you've got multiple accounts, gradually work your way down to like $1 buy order. Because if you're like me, you're not going to get anywhere. You're essentially just going to waste your buy order limit. And if you can recall, buy order limit is like how much money you have times 10 compared to the total buy order amount of all the buy orders you already have. Yeah, you should get the idea. So this is awkward. And this is probably a conclusion to the Kilowatt case. I think I'm going to end up walking away with no actual profit. And also, please be aware of this. With the case really dropping down in value suddenly, do be aware of all the barges you have on the skins. This happened. I think I could sell them, but probably only make like a 10 penny loss on each of these edgelords. Maybe I'll just trade them over to another account that needs money, and maybe it's not so bad there. But yeah, when you see this case drop down pretty hard, you very likely want to go remind yourself of all the barters that you did, just to go ahead and see, maybe my barter might be a little bit too high. Especially knowing as time goes on, they do go down, you know. And it's done a very good job to retain its value to stay above $1 up until this point. But now I stand here worrying that with my buy order, of course, being over $1 like 25-ish, I think I'm going to have to call it quits. And I'm very sad to see it happen. So I try my best to help all of you out, chat, in the past. But the $1 buy order is no longer the saviour. Even if you think you're fast enough, I think the smarter way of doing this is to put down a stronger buy order. Offer more, and that means of course you need to have a lot more money to work with, so do keep this in mind from here and now. So do you reckon this is going to drop down even harder over the course of the next, let's say, 48 hours? I worry. Am I going to be brave enough to keep the buy order, or am I going to watch this potentially ruin me? Because as I said, this account over here, it doesn't really have that much money. Or maybe I can leave it knowing that hey, you know, if it spent like $250, I mean, maybe it's worth a risk. Like, it's not like I can do barters with that account anymore anyway, so maybe I will leave it. Maybe I will see what happens. Maybe it does rebound a whole lot better because, yes, this went down to $1.35 or 40 at its lowest at one point. Maybe it starts to rise up again, especially when Europe is asleep. So over the course of the next 6 or so hours, as I said, it's a bit late right now. Maybe it does improve, but yeah. We shall see. We shall see. So, yeah, not exactly a super happy, enthusiastic, and very, very happy sort of video, but it's definitely something you should learn from, and of course, unfortunately for me, it's something I've had to learn from, so I showcase this to you. Be aware of it in the future, and yeah, everything that I've just talked about doesn't really apply to operation cases. Yes, if we do potentially see a brand new operation come out this year, do be aware that typically, based on what we've seen in the past 3 or so operations, people can technically speaking directly buy the brand new operation cases. You buy them with like some sort of special currency, and typically that's usually at around a set price, and you could normally buy these cases for about 40 cents each. That's when they were at their lowest. I'm remembering from Operation Riptide. So non-operation cases and operation cases, they're not the same. All right. So do be aware of that. Keep that in mind. And don't forget, we're still waiting for that 75% discount. This very likely will probably be doomed, along with a lot of other cases. Do be aware of that. We've discussed this in the past. Typically, when you have the 75% discount drop with a major, you very likely will be seeing a dip for a few days in which all cases suffer, because loads of people will be rushing to get a whole bunch of Steam Wallet to chase after opening these capsules when they're a lot cheaper, 25 cents each. All right, then. So I hope it was insightful. I hope it helps all of you out. And yeah, there was a thing to learn today, and I hope you understood it. So be smarter with your barters in the future, and who knows what or when we do see a non-operation case appear again. So catch you later. See you. Goodbye. All good.